All right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wonderful people, lovers of freedom all over the world. Wherever you are joining us from today, you're highly welcome to this wonderful YouTube platform where they give you back-to-back news and information on everything trending and happening in Biafran territory. Do not forget, today is a wonderful day and TGIF, thank God, is Friday. Yes, as we will continue to celebrate and continue to give God the glory for giving us Biafra, and also for giving us somebody like Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who is still under the abduction and the clause of the Nigerian Janjaweed government, and also for giving us somebody to carry on the mantle of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in the person of Simon Njoko Èkpá, also who is still under detention. There is always a price to pay, for freedom, and this is the part that so many have failed to understand. They are paying the price, but there is nothing much because everything is still working for the good of Biafra. Before we go fully into today's topic and today's issue, first of all, I'll be dropping numerous videos, different videos, so that you will understand the times that we are in. And the first video, which is the major video, is coming from the major prophet, a man who has been consistent in his prophecies. I will always say I'm not the kind of person that drives or believe every or any slightest prophecy that comes or in the name of giving prophecy. But the reality is that when somebody is accurate in predicting things, then you will know, or you will tend to believe, that this person actually is, his antenna is actually active. That antenna is working well. And let me tell you the truth, the major prophet of God's antenna is working very well, because almost all the prophecy he has given or the predictions that he has given has come to reality, and that is the most important thing. So we'll be dropping a very critical prophecy of the major prophet on the Prime Minister Simon Èkpá Njoko, and this one is actually lit. It is lit because of the fact that it has to do with Biafra being the United States of Biafra officially being one of the greatest powerhouses the world will ever see. It is a matter of time, whether you believe it or not. So many people have said a lot of things, that the convention was a scam, but we are happy that the convention was a success. I see a lot of people saying all kind of things, people working with the DOS and the rest of them, saying all critical things and saying so many things against the Prime Minister Simon Èkpá. But Simon Èkpá continues to remain one of the greatest people that the world has actually produced. Take it or leave it. He has taken the fight to the zoo government, and they are getting it woto. Even after we go further, we'll be dropping other critical videos that will be a shocker to you. But meanwhile, let us go into full details.
The southeastern part of this country, and I see myself right there called the Biafran Bite. As I enter there, I am seeing what's called Simon Èkpá surveys in Biafra land. And I begin to ask myself, I thought this man is right there in Finland. What's going on? What's going on here? What's happening there? I am seeing the man surveys and has become a completely different person from who you used to know. Has become so wide. has become so strong and so powerful. I begin to ask myself, am I trying to see clear, or what is this? Because a major prophet of God cannot begin to give prophecy that are not in the realm of the spirit. And all of a sudden, and this young man appeared right there in the Biafra land, and there was what's called trumpet being blown, and this was called a marching, and this was called parade, and this was called the people formation from different angles and different areas. And I begin to search, how did he enter here? What means did he enter here? What's going on here? Because a major prophet of God cannot see things that are not pure. And all of a sudden the Lord said, do you remember what I told you right there in the sea that appeared yesterday in form of a dragon? I said, yes, I remember. And the Lord said, that's what's called the word power number one. My God. These people are there now, the word power now, or time is coming for one power shift. What's going on? The Lord said, this is what he has revealed to me, because the time is ticking for what's called by fire, by force. Is this going to be the thing that God has shown me 4 years ago? That I begin to ask myself, is there going to be war? And the Lord said, not war, but something very dangerous and unthinkable that no man will agree to embark into war, but rather to come to agreement, rather to come to pinpoint, rather to come to resolving the issues. And what I begin to see, and I see
please, we have been here in this square for a couple of minutes now, and we've seen hundreds and hundreds of Biafra who came from all over the world.
Yes.
In solidarity. In this square, we are standing in solidarity with our Prime Minister.
Yes.
For some days, we have had a successful event which ends today.
Yes. Yes.
That event is one of the best the world has ever seen. Yes. There is no self-referendum that has gathered the amount of votes our self-referendum has gathered. It was counted yesterday, revealing
517 delegates.
You can hear from the professor herself.
Our referendum,
yes,
and our declaration of independence.
Yes. Thank you. Yes.
That is awesome. It has never been done before. And this morning we paused our program to come in a solidarity march with our Prime Minister, who has done nothing but to fight to save our people. As we are speaking right now, the Nigerian military and police are occupying Biafra land. They are massacring our people. They are kidnapping our people. They are taking their organs if they cannot pay. I just listened to a space program, and you, Honorable Mr. Snow, you were there.
Yes.
When they were giving real accounts from homeland of people who were affected. They are mounting all their military and police along our roads. They get into villages and they kidnap people. That's what our Prime Minister has been fighting against. And you see, they took him. We still continue with our program, meaning he is not alone. We are all with him and we support him, and that's why we are here this morning. Yes. Thank you very much. And Biafra, we thank you for your support, for voting for the referendum, and all the delegates from all over the world. We thank you.
Thank you.
People that claim to be educated do not know anything that is going on in this world. They only know what is happening in Nigeria. They do not care about what is happening outside Nigeria. They don't care about the people, about global law, about how law works globally. Even when the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Finland visited Nigeria, she told them that this is a matter that will be decided by law in the law court. She was very, very specific. It is not by bilateral agreement. It is not by diplomatic, moves or connections. It is a matter that will be determined and decided and put to bed by law in the law court. she made it very, very clear. And here is somebody who claimed with suit, all of them wearing suit, suit, and they can't reason properly. I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed. It's a big shame. It's a very, very big shame, honestly speaking.
If that the proper thing, the federal government is going to have discussions with them, because the mere fact that if the government of Finland arrested him, they didn't do it on their own volition. They must have been given information. Complaints must have been made, because he's a citizen of Finland, he's a politician in Finland, he ran for elections in Finland, so they can't on their own arrest him. Yeah.
So you know him. You know him. It's not the woman who was there and then she suddenly become the prime minister. So you really know the prime minister. Let me tell you, my people. Let me tell you once again. They never knew PM Simon Ekpá was this powerful. They never knew. They are just realizing it now.
I believe that the mere fact that he was arrested is a good step in the right direction, and it shows that eventually he's coming back home. Even if we don't have treaties between Nigeria and Finland, there is diplomacy.
Did you hear that? He said eventually he's coming back home. Now let me hear that again. This conversation is becoming more interesting.
So I believe that the mere fact that he was arrested is a good step in the right direction, and it shows that eventually he's coming back home. Even if we don't have treaties between Nigeria and Finland, there is diplomacy. We can have discussions. We can have discussions, and because
I just said now, just a couple of minutes or seconds ago, that the Finnish Foreign Affairs was in Nigeria early this year. And she told you that the matter of the prime minister, that was when Musa was crying and shouting, Samanepa, 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 that we are here to discuss about the issue of Samanepa. He usually call it Samanepa, Samanepa. You know, the Finnish Foreign Affairs told you that this matter will be decided in the court. What does that tell you? You as Nigeria, you as a country, you as a government must provide, must prepare and provide your evidences against him, against any crime that you have alleged to have committed by the same individual, Mazi Samanepa. You must provide your evidences in the court of competent jurisdiction in Finland. And she also told you that, remember, we are talking about a Finnish citizen that has his right as a citizen. You understand? Maybe one of these days, maybe by the time I will be dealing with Okechukwu Isiguzoro, I will try and find that very video.
The purpose of that trial is to protect Nigerian sovereignty and to prevent breakdown of law and order. Every country has a duty to support each other when it comes to sharing intelligence to prevent breakdown of law and order. So I believe that regardless of the fact that his trial has been fixed for May next.
How do you prevent law and order when your government is the one who breaks law and order? When citizens of Nigeria gather in protest, your same government sent the military to massacre them. And this same world you are talking about is watching. The countries all over the world are watching. They see what you're doing. They are aware of what you're doing. Now let's continue.
Next year, I believe that the proper thing to do is that it's going to be sent back to Nigeria, because the consequence.
Continue dreaming. Continue to dream. Continue to dream.
Of his actions are being felt in Nigeria, not in Finland. So the proper place to try him is in Nigeria.
You see? And if you lawyer, if you touch this idiot, he will call himself a lawyer. He said that the place where the alleged crime is being committed is in Nigeria, so he should be tried in Nigeria. And he forgot as a lawyer, whatsoever he claimed to be, he also forgot that the man in question that has been alleged to have committed a crime is in Finland. Therefore, Nigeria, where they claim the crime was committed, cannot or does not have the jurisdiction to try a man that was alleged to have committed a crime in Finland. And how does this crime work? How do you commit this offense when you are in Finland and they said you are committing offense in Nigeria? I don't know how it works. I don't know how it works. And somebody will be somewhere, cough. When somebody coughs somewhere, all the way from Finland, somebody cough in Finland. And you say, oh, your cough is actually disturbing us here. Why don't you build a soundproof? You should build a soundproof in order to stop the sound of that cough from a far away distance, not to have effect in the Zoological Republic. Why didn't you build a soundproof to prevent the sound? Because you don't have capacity. And you think you have capacity of stopping Biafra or bringing Mazi Simon Ekpa from Finland to the Zoological Republic.
Alleged consequences of his actions. He's not been found guilty of anything. But I mean, again, it brings me back to the way that we've managed, the whole crisis. If the Nigerian government had been more...
Let him know that he has not been found guilty of any crime. You should... I don't know who is this man. Where did he come from? Because when the idiot that they brought to the studio is going out of point, he always there to correct him in order to bring him back to his senses. Because how on earth will you bring somebody that you are wiser than to interview the same person that you are wiser than? What are people going to learn? Who did that? Who committed this abomination? Bringing a low mental, or should I say, a mentally deranged individual to your studio to come and talk to people, to the public. Who committed that crime? Who can only commit this abomination?
Sensitive, I believe, to the requests, to the pain that these persons were expressing, the reasons for their grievances over time. People would say that it maybe would have gotten this far. Look at the way that the Nnamdi Kanu's case has been handled as well. It's not in any way helping matters, don't you think?
Well, I don't agree with you, because I mean, in Nnamdi Kanu, when you are advocating for a cause, you must be willing to pay the price for that cause, and that's what makes you a leader. That's what makes you have credibility.
Okay. A round of applause. A round of applause. A round of applause. Yes. This man finally said something important again. He was saying important things during the start of the broadcast or of his interview. But he has said something important again in the middle of the interview. So let us hear him once again before we continue.
I agree with you, because I mean, in Nnamdi Kanu, when you... Well, I don't agree with you, because I mean, in Nnamdi Kanu,
Now, after this word he said, he will start lying. Pay attention. He will start lying again, because he has already been lying since. He will start lying again. So pay attention.
When you are advocating for a cause, you must be willing to pay the price for that cause, and that's what makes you a leader. That's what makes you have credibility.
Did you hear him? Did you hear that? He said, when you are advocating for a cause, you must be ready to pay the sacrifices that follows that. Let's hear. If it's only this word we learn from him today, we will let him go. No problem.
I agree with you, because I mean, in Nnamdi Kanu, when you are advocating for a cause, you must be willing to pay the price for that cause, and that's what makes you a leader. That's what
to show you that these people understand what we are doing. These people know everything that we are doing. They know. The only problem they have there is that I told you that when they reason and see that a group of people are moving to stop the criminal entity that gives them an enabling environment to carry out their criminal activities, it becomes a problem for them. They will not, or they will find it very, very hard, almost impossible to agree with our sentiments and the argument. This man has said something now that you wouldn't even dreamed of. You wouldn't even dream of. Sorry. That a one Nigerianist can say in the public. So they knew it from beginning. So why are you disturbing yourselves?
Makes you cause. I don't agree with you, because I mean, in the kind of, when you are advocating for a cause, you must be willing to pay the price for that cause, and that's what makes you a leader. That's what makes you have credibility. He was released on bail, and he jumped his bail, and even after jumping his bail, he didn't just keep quiet. He kept on.
Yeah, but his argument is that the army attacked his home.
Yeah,
He
the army
didn't just jump bail.
Then you go back to court.
Now, let me be sincere to you. This is the main reason why I decided to analyze this very video today. I just want you to pay attention. No be far, but the main reason why I decided to analyze this very video today. This particular place. Let's play it again.
Willing to pay the price for that cause, and that's what makes you a leader. That's what makes you have credibility. He was released on bail, and he jumped his bail, and even after jumping his bail, he didn't just keep quiet. He kept on.
Yeah, but his argument is that the army.
He said he was released on bail and he jumped the bail. Pay attention to that. I want you to remember it. He was released on bail and he jumped the bail. Right? After he said, when you are advocating for something, you must be ready to pay for the price of that thing you're advocating for. And then he said, that is what makes you a leader. That is what builds your credibility. Again, he said, when he was released on bail, he jumped the bail. And again, their annoyance now is not only that they claim that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu jumped his bail, but he also continued to speak. That is their annoyance. Now, let us hear what this man said during his interjection.
He jumped his bail, and even after jumping his bail, he didn't just keep quiet. He kept on.
Yeah, but his argument is that the army attacked his home.
Yeah,
the army jump bail.
Then you go back to court.
Let's hear him.
And we're not in a banana republic. You go back.
Oh, so you are not in a banana republic. Remember, there are two things now. He said, if the army attacked his house to buy him, just to buy him, because this attack was done with armor tanks and military fighter jets. The videos are everywhere. Many people were mauled in cold blood in the compound of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. The attack took place with armor tanks and military fighter jets. We have all the videos. Now, this man said he acknowledged that his house was attacked by the zoo military. But do you know his response? He said, then you go to the court. So, after he must have been killed by the terrorist in uniform, then his spirit will wake up to go to court. You see, the way these people reason, and sometimes I wonder, or does it, or go bad the wrong call? Can somebody help me in the comment section? Does it mean that na go by the wrong call? Now these people will dress up in suit, well ironed, well pressed, shave their hair very well, put on a good shoe, and very well ironed tie, long tie for that matter. they will sit on TV, on national television, to contradict themselves a million times in just 10 minutes interview. My question is this: is it after the terrorist army must have killed Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, then his spirit will rise up to go to the court that this man is talking about? Let us hear him again. Then there's another word he said, that Nigeria, the zoo, is not a banana republic. So remember, he has already acknowledged that if military actually attacked his house, which is in the public, the evidence is there, that led to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's, exit from Nigeria, to at least to save his life, because it is only a tree that will hear that they want to come and cut it off. It will stay standing tall there, that same place. It doesn't move. Only a tree does that. In as much as a human being is not a tree, you have every right to protect yourself from any harm or threat of your life. If he warrants you from leaving that spot, that very location, in order to save your life, every law in the world will protect you. It is the inalienable right of every individual to protect his or herself. So after acknowledging that, yes, the military actually attacked his house in a bid to assassinate him, he also came back to tell us he should have gone to court. So after attacking his house, he should have remained in the house while the terrorists attack his house, massacre over 28 as an official number from Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's household. 28 people were mauled in cold blood in that same compound, which Mazi Nnamdi Kanu would have been among those 28 people, plus Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, God forbid, it would have been 29 people that were mauled in cold blood in the compound of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. So if Mazi Nnamdi Kanu did not escape by whiskers, he would have been among those men that paid the ultimate price, and then his spirit will now rise to go to court, Nigerian court, Supreme Court, Court of Appeal, High Court Abuja, to sue Nigeria military. To sue Nigeria military. How did you do that? A lot of people have corrected me that Bianca Ojukwu is not up to 60 years. Some of them say she's 50 what? 50, 54, 56. Some people say she is 56, and some people say she's 54. Whatever. If she's 56 or 50, if she's 56 or 54, no problem. The only truth stands that Bianca Ojukwu has never for one day represented Biafra on any level. That is the reality. And she was not there when her late husband, our eternal leader Ojukwu, was actually fighting for Biafra. That time she was a baby. She was a baby. If they have even given birth to her then. Now, let's continue here.
Then you go back to court.
When he had already joined his ancestors, God forbid, his spirit will rise and go to court. He must have not left. He should have been there when his house was attacked. 28 people assassinated in cold blood. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu should have been there as a leader, and that's what made him, as what made him a credible and reliable leader. He would have been there in order to join those that were massacred, and then his spirit will now rise up to go and sue Nigerian army in Nigeria court. This is how they behave. Don't even look at their suit. Don't you ever look at their ties. Don't look at their eyeglasses, because they are empty brain. They know nothing. Even those of them that really, really know, in reality, they will never stand for the truth, because truth would destroy the criminal entity that has provided enabling environment for criminals like them to commit their criminal activities.
That the army attacked his home.
Yeah,
He
the army
didn't just jump bail.
then you go back to court. Then you go back to court. We're not in a banana republic.
You are not in a banana republic, but when the army attacked his house, you were in banana republic. Was it written in any constitution that the military has the right of invading any person home or individual compounds? Is it in the so-called constitution you are talking about? Somebody should let me know in the comment section. Let me know in the comment section. Is it in the history that the military should attack any house of individual, even somebody that his case is still in the court, somebody that will be attending court in few days to come? Is it also in the constitution of the zoo that military should attack that person's house? So when the military attacked Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's house, it was a banana republic. But when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu fled for his life, it now stopped being a banana republic. That is how they reason. That's how they roll.
He didn't just keep quiet. He kept on.
Yeah, but his argument is that the army attacked his home.
Yeah,
He
the
didn't
army
just jump bail.
then you go back to court. Then you go back to court. We're not in a banana republic. You go back to court. So, but I believe that there's going to be some discussions, because we need a political solution to this crisis. We can't resolve it either by law or by force or by.
We don't need again. Did you hear that? He said, we can't resolve it either by law. The same person that said, but Nigeria is not a banana republic. You know, hey, contradiction after contradiction. Hey, let me even share the
political solution to this.
We don't need we don't need it again. We are done with our political solution. We are done with your political solution. You can go to hell, go to Aburi. We are done with you, idiots. We are done. We are done. We have left you behind. We have left you behind. Stupid, failed idiots everywhere. They will put on suit. Obagoba mara isi. Sorry. Obonagoba deronko kobobisa mara. What is the problem of these criminals in the zoo, who always claim to be highly educated and nurtured? What is the problem? We don't want your political solution again. We have redeclared our independence, and that is where we stand. The fight now. I know you people don't know what is coming, but let me tell you, those of you thinking that the so-called arrest of Mazi Samonepa in Finland is going to end the fight for freedom, although you people called it insecurity. You called it insecurity. I want you to know that the fight for Biafra has just begun. It has just begun. So the link is in the comment section. While I continue, analyzing this idiot and their gutter media, I will also allow Biafrans to come in and make their contribution. It's going to be an open floor. If you want to make a comment about of course, the Biafra redeclaration and restoration, you are free to do so. If you want to make comment about this idiot and of course the IPOB Nigeria, the Ohanes and Dioshi, the one I have first of all showed you in the beginning, the floor is open for all discussions that has to do with Biafra today. The floor is open while I continue with the analysis of this very, or should I say, the current development. I will try to pin the link on top of the live chat section if you are watching, of course, and of course joining us from YouTube, which is of course the only platform where we are broadcasting live this evening. All right, first of all, while we continue, let me play this video, maybe in full. I don't know. I might be triggered to cut it again.
Just keep quiet. He kept on.
Yeah, but his argument is that the army attacked his home.
Yeah,
He
the
didn't
army.
just jump bail.
Then you go back to court. Then you go back to court. We're not in a banana republic. You go back to.
My question is, when the army attacked him, were we in Banana Republic? That when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu ran for his life, then it is now no longer a Banana Republic? That is my question, please. If you are coming here, if you have any answer to that, please bring it on. I will enjoy to hear the answer.
To court. So, but I believe that there's going to be some discussions because we need a political solution to this crisis. We can't resolve it either by law or by force or by military and all that. We are going to come back.
Oh, so you know that we cannot resolve it by law. You don't know the capacity of what this idiot just said. You don't know the capacity. I don't know if I have time. Let me even check time. Let me check time. Honestly speaking, I may not have time to analyze this. This man said that we cannot resolve this by law. So if you know that you cannot resolve this issue by law, why are you holding Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and trying to force him, trying to subject him to the court or to trial? Yes, trying to subject him to trial by your law court when you know that you cannot resolve the matter by law. Hey, again. So you know Nigeria is aware that they cannot resolve the Biafra matter by law because they know that by law they failed woefully. It is the right of every individual to live. Self-preservation is a law and must for every living person. Self-preservation. That is your number one law. That is your number one rule. That is the rule of engagement. That is the law. Self-defense and self-preservation is the beginning of human life in this world. Self-preservation. If you are not alive, nobody will even care to judge your case. Unless you have billions in account, billions of dollars in account, and then there are people who want to siphon it, and then there are other people that want to pull out the money. Then they will hear your case. But once you are not alive, nobody cares to hear your case. So self-defense for you to live, self-preservation for you to live is the number one law in the world. So Nigeria is aware that this matter cannot be resolved in the law court. So why are you subjecting Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to any criminal trial in Nigeria? Why? They have shot themselves in the foot. The link, of course, is now on top of the chat section. The link is there on top of the chat section. You can click the link now and join me in the studio while we continue to do justice to all this propaganda. So we don't care anymore. We don't care. We don't care about your law. We don't care about your, judgment. We don't care about your allegations. We don't care about your political solution. That number one law in the world, which is self-defense and self-preservation, is what the Biafran people and Biafra government have activated. That is where we are leveraging now. That we are now leveraging on that standard law, first rule of engagement, self-defense and self-preservation. That is where we are leveraging. We are standing firm on that law. That is the number one law in the world. Because if you don't defend yourself, if you don't preserve your life, you cannot be alive to tell the story or defend yourself in the law court.
To the table. But before you come to the table, if you're not prepared for war, you can't negotiate. So the best way to go for a negotiation is to be actually prepared for war. So the government has to be very strong. They need to let them know that they are going to be able to deal with anybody who tries to repeat that sort of action. But eventually, I believe that the government will be taking certain steps to resolve the crisis. I mean, I saw it.
Very good and fine. I love the advice. They should prepare for the war if they are not ready to negotiate. And let me tell you, the Biafran people have seen war before. And this time around, we are also fighting the same war. And we, this current generation, are not afraid of whichever language you want to use. Whichever word you want to use, this current generation is never afraid of it. Because we are in it already. We are already in it. And it's going to triple. It's going to triple moving forward in defense of Biafra land. This current generation is not afraid of war because even without technology in the olden days, without proper arms and ammunition, war equipment, our fathers stood firm for 3 good years and defended us, defended our land. If not the gallantry of our fathers, we, the new generation, will not be here today. I want you to get that into your empty skull. That if not the you said we were defeated. That is what you said. But let me let you know that with the brutality and terrorism of one Nigeria government, if not the gallantry of our fathers, we, the new generation, wouldn't have been here today. They would have wiped us off.
Senator from Abia State or so advocating for his release. I know Ohanes Ndibo are advocating for his release. And I know the president is a listening president. He knows how to manage human resources and all that. So I believe that eventually he's going to look into it. And I don't think anybody can blame the federal government for what is happening so far. Look at our elections in 2023. The Southeast is the only place where no political party other than Labour Party had over 50,000 votes, except APC in Imo State. Every other party, we're having 9,000. It was a landslide victory. So it's a step in the right direction. That's the first time that is happening in Nigeria. So you can't just say you want power and you get it within 2 years or 3 years. So they've made their mark. Let them go back to the drawing board and expand their coast to other parts of the country. Yeah. So allowing them to vote.
No. We don't need your power. This man, you can't advise us. You can't. You don't have the capacity